absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Bertie Apon and Purusha Dasa appear to believe otherwise, but it is true. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. It's just not proof of absence.
Wasted today. I feel bent. I feel screwed. And I've got about one more day to live. I got nothing.
We have no evidence that there is gold on the planet Pluto. But does that mean, therefore, that there is no gold on Pluto? Well, clearly not.
Nothing to say.
For a long time, we had no evidence that there were other solar systems. Does that mean they didn't exist? Did the absence of evidence for other solar systems mean that there are no other solar systems? Well, that would be absurd. Theorists of knowledge agree that the lack of evidence for some entity X counts as positive evidence against X's existence only in the case that if X did exist, then we should expect to see more evidence of X's existence than what we do see. For example, the absence of evidence of a planet between Venus and the Earth is a pretty good reason to think that such a planet does not exist. Because if it did exist, we should have all kinds of evidence. Step one is to say that if God existed, then we would expect to see blank, and you fill in the blank. Step two is, but we do not find blank, and therefore one concludes that God does not exist. If we were to say, is there an elephant in this room? The absence of any evidence would be a good reason to think there is no elephant in this room. But if someone were to assert there is no flea in this room, would the absence of evidence for the flea be a good reason to think there's not a flea in the room? Well, clearly not. The point is that absence of evidence is evidence of absence only in the case where if the thing did exist, you would expect to have some more evidence of it than what you do. the reason we don't believe that I'm a kangaroo is not because of the absence of evidence that I am a kangaroo. Rather, it is the presence of evidence that I am not a kangaroo. Like, we have good evidence that I'm Homo sapiens.
To validate this position, I will give an analogy. There is an absence of evidence that Veritas 48 caused the BP oil spill. Therefore, it is rational to believe in the non-existence of his guilt in that disaster. The absence of evidence does not prove he didn't do it, but it gives strong ground to saying no, he did not. And we must go where the evidence, or lack thereof, leads. This is what reason dictates, and it is unreasonable and illogical to believe in something for which there is no valid, objective evidence.
I'm pretty happy with my bank checking account. My money's really safe. Give me several positive good reasons for investing it in the stock market, and I proceed to give you one after another really weak, in your judgment, argument. And after you get past the third or fourth one, you stop me and you say, no, I'm not going to additionally try to put my money in the stock market. I don't want my money there. You haven't given me enough good reasons.
Gee, now,
the naturalist is somebody who
wait,
retains
look,
belief in
exactly
nature.
Illustrates my point. That person has not given you reasons to believe the stock market is going up. But that doesn't allow you, anyway, logically to conclude that therefore the stock market isn't going to go up or that it's going to go down. You simply have to withhold judgment. You see, it seems to me your reasoning here is logically invalid.
Weeks before the disaster, they know that they are drilling into a very dangerous formation. The formation has told them that.
That's correct.
And has cost them millions of dollars.
That's correct.
And they know the BOP is broken.
Correct.
Broken in a number of ways.
Correct.
What is the appropriate thing to do at that point?
Don't do something stupid.
They didn't stop. As the drilling fluid was removed, relieving the downward pressure, the plugs failed. The blowout preventer didn't work.
So I used to play Counter-Strike a lot. I had to make a decision at some point whether I wanted to keep doing that like full-time and drop out of college, or whether I wanted to stay in college and get my degree. Complex, so God must have done it. And this is, you know, if this is really your view, for shame on you. You ought to know better than this. This is simply a straw man. ID is not...
There is an absence of evidence that Monos, The Hands of Fate, is the highest grossing box office film of all time. That is evidence of the absence of it existing as the highest grossing box office film. It does not prove it, but it gives evidence that...
I got nothing to say, nothing to do, nowhere to go, except to you. Nothing.
The woman is all we want. The others must die. They all must die. We do not even want the woman.
You're afraid of what you know?
Tyler!
It's golden!
Tyler!
It's golden!
The door's over that way, Torgo, if you're...
I'm losing it. Left. Oh, there I go. I'm going left. Help. Oh.
It's like having Joe Cocker as your bellhop.
The objective evidence indicates that Avatar is the highest grossing box office film ever. Avatar is the highest grossing box office film ever.
The reason we don't believe that I'm a kangaroo is not because of the absence of evidence that I am a kangaroo. Rather, it is the presence of evidence that I am not a kangaroo. Like, we have good evidence that I'm Homo sapiens.